Conversations shaping our nation's future. I am Chanda. Today we unpack National Congress Party President Peter Chanda's bold announcement endorsing lawyer Makebi Zulu's, let me say that again, sorry, apologies for that. Today we unpack the National Congress Party President Peter Chanda's bold announcement endorsing lawyer Makebi Zulu as the NCP's presidential candidate for the August 2026 elections. Makebi Zulu, however, has remained silent, and the silence has sparked nationwide debate. Is this a unity masterstroke or a risky bet? Join us as we explore position and unity amid the 2026 presidential race with my guest, Mr. Peter Chanda. Welcome to Capital FM.
Thank you very much, and good morning to all the viewers and the listeners.
Yes, it is nice to have you again. We last spoke, was it last year or the other?
2 years ago.
2 years ago. Wonderful, wonderful. Mr. Peter Chanda, before we hit the heavy stuff, tell us what's one non-political passion that keeps you grounded amid this 2026 election buzz. Is it football? Are you a NAPSA or a power supporter? Are you a Braai master or there's something else?
In Zambia?
Yes.
In Zambia, I've only had one team that I used to follow, especially the time of Wisdom Chanda.
Okay. Back in the day.
Back in the days.
Wisdom Chanda, what? Power Dynamo?
Power Dynamos. Power 90.
Power 90. Wonderful, wonderful.
You know, go crazy in the ground when he just touches the ball. Everyone will be weak.
Yes, I remember. So you're not part of the insultants from Ankana?
No. For me, it's Power Dynamos. We have that rivalry, and across the borders, it's Chelsea, which is also a rivalry with money on the other side.
Of all the teams, why would you choose Chelsea?
I've been Chelsea from 1994, somewhere there.
I've been a Man U fan from 1981.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so you can't change. I've seen all the wins and the losses. But let's get into it. So your February 2026 announcement endorsing Makebi Zulu as the NCP's preferred presidential candidate for the August 2026 elections has gotten tongues wagging. Did you secure his consent beforehand, or was it a one-sided decision to jumpstart talks, especially post the Tonse Alliance challenges?
Well, let me say one thing. Politics is dynamic, and like I said in my statement, I want to demonstrate the kind of leadership in the country where you demonstrate a listening ear to the Zambian people. The Zambian people has been calling for the opposition to unite. The Zambian people has been calling for many of us political leaders, especially us coming from Northern Province, that we are too clouded. We are many of us who are aspiring to be presidents.
Yes. And
this has been also the message from, I remember last time I met Paramount, the Chief Chitimukuru, he told me to say, all of you about, I don't know how many of you, look at the list of presidential candidates or leaders of political parties in the country. It is all of us, the members. So, Honorable Makebi Zulu and I have got one thing in common, and that's our loyalty to ECO cannot be doubted by any Zambian. I'm one person that can be able to say I'm standing here to be a political heavyweight at the moment, because I've been mentored by ECO and I've stood by ECO's side. Today, NCP can boast of having one member of parliament owing to the fact that we have the blessing of ECO on my head. And New Congress Party is not just a mere political party, it's one political party that was in the mouth of ECO, that ECO himself presided over a meeting on the 18th of November 2024 and chose New Congress Party as a special purpose vehicle, a party through which all political leaders and political parties that were gathered under Tonse were supposed to float candidates. Now, the decision that I made, and I can be able to stay to say, we, myself and the Honorable Makebi Zulu, we are like brothers.
Yes.
Who were all mentored by one father. So we all considered ECL as our political father in the political discourse. So I want to state that the Zambian people should wait for Honorable Makebi Zulu. At the right time, he's going to definitely make a response to that. But I want to state, if we are brothers, then that means we talk.
Are you saying, yes, you consulted him?
Well, the decision cannot be just arrived at abruptly, but I forwarded the discussion with him. He said, it's your democratic right, Mr. President. If you choose to endorse me, who am I to restrain you from what you're supposed to do? But I'll respond at my own time. So basically, we are at that.
Okay, so you forwarded a suggestion to him that he should be the NCP leader.
No, presidential
candidate, sorry. And he says, I'll respond. So ultimately, if he declines endorsement, what does that say about your party's internal consultation and strategic planning?
Well, this matter was not just deliberated today by the parties. As you may be aware, on the 18th of November 2025, NCP held a general conference in Ndola, and all the delegates as well as members of the party, the structures across the country, were highlighted about the fact that we sustained and continued with the amendment that we had made in 2021, wherein as president I can be able to state to say, Ovane, I'm not ready, but I feel this one can be presidential candidate. That is the same way that ECA was invited to be presidential candidate. It is a decision that I have to make in conformity with the constitution of New Congress Party as amended in 2021 on the 9th of May when we held our general conference, where I was elected for the 5 years mandate from 9th May 2021 to when I was elected again on the 18th of November 2025. So I have a 5-year mandate to run as president, duly elected, and the constitution of New Congress Party in Article 4.18 mandates me to appoint a presidential candidate.
Okay.
So the consultation it's a clause that is well aware. So basically, it's simply me exercising the duties, my duties as president, to appoint a presidential candidate to say, okay, for now, I feel the Zambian people are saying, Uyu, just like the way I invited this year, it's in the same way that I've invited Honorable Makebi Zulu. Based on mutual respect as well, and as well as understanding the fact that we both have a common ground, and that is enhancing, defending, and sustaining ECL's legacy.
All right. There is this issue which politicians like to float and say, Zambians have said, Zambians have said, Zambians want, Zambians don't want. So to what extent have you really gone to know exactly what's on the ground for you to come and pick Makebi?
Well, you can see it for yourself. I think even in my press, I said from the time that Makebi came on the scene, you also, the presidential candidate that went to the PF Secretariat to file in their nomination. For Makebi Zulu, it was a mammoth. The day when he went to file in his nomination at the PF Secretariat, you saw that he brought Lusaka to a standstill. That would give you a signal. And the only time that I saw that was the time when we walked with ECL in the CBD from Soweto Market. You know, I used to have a church at Soweto Market. From Soweto Market up to the post office, you saw that Lusaka came to a standstill. And that momentous occasion also happened on Makebi. So you can also read with the fact that when somebody registers his presence in the political scene, he has surpassed several people that have been vying for president, that have been fighting for president, several political leaders, in terms of ganging up the numbers in regards to his bid for presidency. So politics is about understanding and reading the times. Now, I come from a theological background where the sons of Issachar were very good at reading the times. And I think I will not depart from the fact that I have ears on the ground. I have eyes in seeing what people's comments on social media are, and at the same time, I've heard what the church leaders and in many churches that I've visited have said.
Okay. If Makebi Zulu says no, do you have plan B? Will you field your own candidate and meet the ECZ nomination deadline or seek another alliance partner?
Well, let me state one thing. I'm president of the party. By virtue of the fact that I was elected president, the trust and confidence that the members of NCP have is quite huge.
Okay.
And at the same time, I cannot be able to preempt a decision that is in the if. You understand? Because that is an assumption. It's not yet a decision. But I want to state that New Congress Party has got a substantive president.
Yes.
And we've got the general membership of the party that saw their interest in entrusting the presidency as well as the running up to the 2026 general election in the hands of myself. So I want to state that we will not jump the bridge before we reach the bridge. But for now, what I can be able to tell you is that the decision of the party and the decision that I have made as the president is that Honorable Makebi Zulu is our preferred presidential candidate. Should there be anything, we'll sit down together, and at the same time, don't forget that I'm a very decisive leader.
That's the plan B we want to know.
No,
he wakes up and he says, do you know what? I have a better offer somewhere else.
Oh yeah.
What are you going to tell those same people are saying you're consulting?
Let me state one thing.
Yes.
When you're making a decision, you already have a plan B. Now, you don't disclose your plan B, then it doesn't become a plan B.
So, Mr. Peter Chanda, you want the people's votes, isn't it?
Yeah.
Take them in your confidence.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is this. For now, one decision has been made. Okay. So I wouldn't want to come here and disclose the plan B. No, should you not do this? It's like you enter into a marriage and now you're already looking at how you're going to exit the marriage. No, you don't do that. Mutually, there was a prior discussion,
yes.
And you understand, and that prior discussion, the man said, no, for now, it's your democratic right to endorse and invite, and I'll respond at the right time. So before somebody responds, somebody has not told you that no, I've rejected. And now I cannot come on the media to say if he rejects, I'm going to do this. Then it means I'm not sincere. I'm one person that always wants to stand with sincerity.
I hear you, but under normal circumstances, if you invite someone to your house, they'll either say, I am coming or I am not. It will not take them several days to decide. So in the interim, what has been going on in
utilizing our structures and preparing ourselves.
Wonderful.
You know, they say preparation must meet opportunity in order for you to get success. The voters are the people that we are approaching at the moment. We are busy. I think I can tell you across the country, our members are busy consolidating the structures of NCP. To the humility that was exhibited by our late president, Edgar Chagwarungu. I think if I tell you that he's one leader that is ready to serve under. If I remember when we began prior discussion, he was one person that he was able to even say, Mr. President, me, I don't mind being your running mate. You understand? So we had those discussions, I think, way back. Whilst the issue was still alive, we would meet and joke. And you say, no, I know you are the future president, but I don't mind being your running mate. Or I'll take over. I remember one time we were having a meal, and he said that you understand, and we will laugh at it. Yeah. So always we joke about that. But first, one thing I can say, the true and the best attribute of a leader is humility and being ready. And I'm sure you heard him on Phoenix FM. He stated to say, I'm also equally ready. What we are basically demonstrating, myself and Makebi, to the whole country, is that we are ready. What I have done today is not something that I can be ashamed of as being a sign of weakness. No, it's a sign of strength. Jesus taught us one thing. He said, he that wants to be great must be the least of all. So for us, and I think that's one thing that is compatible, or maybe what I can be able to say we have in common, is that there is that level of humility of being ready to allow any other person that the Zambian people will be able to say, okay, lead. But that has to go with the mutual respect, and that Makebi has got integrity, and I believe integrity is one of the things, and honesty. So the most important thing is that in the political discourse, we must be honest as we have our discourse. And I can say these are some of the attributes that I can be able to say. And look at this. He's one person that has also demonstrated capacity to sacrifice. He sacrificed his law firm, his time, and whatever for the former first family. He stood up for all the members of parliament who are facing matters of, let's say, if you remember first, there were petitions. He was one of the lawyers that stood for several members of parliament. Then a lot of PF members have had the cases in court where some of them is done pro bono, for some of them that he has charged. But I can be able to tell you that he stood up for ECL. So it's one thing, it's a rare thing for somebody to leave whatever he's doing. When ECL was sick, he left his law firm and went to camp with him there. You understand? These are some of the things you can be able to say, okay, there is a level of selflessness. I mean, if he's in the country, he's one of the renowned lawyers, and who is not paid peanut for doing his job. You understand? He could have concentrated on his law firm and he continued to live comfortably. But what did he do? He sacrificed everything and concentrated on ensuring that he looks at, he helps, he went together with the former president. So for me, if there is something that I can be able to say, there is a demonstration of selfless leadership in him. Right. And for me, to reciprocate is to basically know, to say, okay, ECL, I was close to ECL, but Makebi was closer. There is nobody amongst the political leaders in the country that can be able to say they were closer to ECL. No matter what, today I can be able to tell you to say you can line up even in all the PF leaders, all the 9 presidential candidates. No one can be able to say they were as close to ECL as the way Makebi was.
Not even given of it.
Not even. Okay. I can be able to tell you. Because even at the point when ECL got critically ill that he was about to leave us, the only person who was called and the plane chartered for him, he chartered the plane to get to South Africa quickly, was Makebi Zulu. So for me, I can be able to state to say he has demonstrated selfless leadership, and leadership is about not being over-ambitious to an extent where you go it to say to no, but exercising maximum restraint when you are supposed to destroy or maybe destroy an organization that you represent. Let me give you, for example, if by virtue of me appointing and inviting Honorable Makebi Zulu as presidential candidate, if he was so ambitious to an extent that he doesn't care about the organization that he represents, and you heard in my remark, I clearly stated, because I don't believe in planting a seed of discord. I believe in fostering unity. In my statement, if you are able to even play my full statement, when I appointed Makebi Zulu, I urged Honorable Makebi Zulu to go and sit down with Honorable Rubinda to make sure that he discusses with Honorable Rubinda on the matter that is at hand of him being appointed. And I can be able to safely say, a night before my address, we spoke, and I told him, okay, for me, this is my decision. I say, since you have no objection, please, you are Honorable Luvinda. Confirm with him. We have come a long way as brothers, and I know the predicament in which the Patriotic Front is in. Their papers were taken away by Mao Sampa, who today, I'm sure he has repented, is like Apostle Paul now. He wants to work hard and surpass the duties. And I know that's the Apostle Paul. For me, coming from a theological background, those that are condemning Mao Sampa, I will not condemn him. Because when one realizes and become a crusader of the gospel, that is how it was with the Apostle Paul. He became the main crusader, and he became one of the greatest apostles. But he was persecuting the children of the Christians. But today, I want to state that the PF is in the mess because of Mao Sampa, and Mao Sampa is working hard to correct the mess. Okay. Yeah. We'll so for me, I can be able to state that Honorable Makebi demonstrated that restraint. He could have quickly jumped on and grabbed the opportunity and tear apart the PF. But for me, the intention and the message to the PF and all the PF members is that from NCP point of view, I have gone through certain situation where my party was almost taken over by certain leaders. The same clique wanted to take over NCP and push me away. So for now, I have picked on one presidential candidate that I can trust. And I'm saying, if we are going to work together with the PF, the person that I can trust is Honorable Makebi Zulu.
Wonderful. I want us to circle back to the issue relating to your choosing him, okay, and then the reaction regarding people out there. Some argue that endorsing outsiders like Makebi Zulu could weaken your standing. Are you prepared for a secondary role? You talked about it quite a little bit, but I need you to expand on that. Or perhaps work as a running mate, in the name of unity, of course. Or is this sacrifice worth it for Zambia?
Well, let me state one thing. The sacrifice is very worthy for Zambian. Many Zambian people. You remember, for me to arrive at a decision to even pick on Honorable Makebi Zulu, and I've stated, the ground is that he's one leader that I can be able to state that I can trust. He was trusted by my leader, and I strongly believe that we can trust him and the Zambian people can trust him. Now, the issue here, which you are saying to say, no, should we decline and all those, I think you are emphasizing on the same. What will the Zambian people say? Let me tell you, the issue is that to the Zambian people, have demonstrated selfless leadership. To the Zambian people, have heard their call to say, let's reduce the number of political leaders who should be on the ballot. Let's have at least one united opposition. And now, you understand, right? Yeah. So for me, Honorable Makebi is one whom I have stated to say, okay, this is one leader that I can say we can be able to work with, who I can tell to the Zambian people that you have been telling me to say unite with your friends. So in the spirit of unity, and I've heard the messages, and I hear the Zambian people's response. The Zambian people's response is that there are too many contenders in the political discourse. There is Honorable Makebi Zulu and Honorable Brian Mundwe. Many people from the church circles, and I remember one of the pastor's wife from church called me Pambari and told me to say, please tell Honorable Makebi and Honorable Brian Mundwe to unite. You understand? There are two. So we have these two politicians that have stood out. From amongst all the political leaders, these two have stood out. And for me, this other one has been willing, you understand, has been willing to continue on with ECL's legacy. And I believe at the moment we are all aware of the fact that we have not yet buried ECL. And we are caught up in a situation where we have the elections coming.
Yes.
We remain with no option. But the issue is you cannot disown ECL's leaders and claim to build the ECL movement. This is one thing. Now, for me at the moment, should this be not embraced, I am telling you to say, look, I have a duty, and that duty is to ensure that from where NCP was left, it is built on going. Definitely participate.
We need to know.
We will definitely participate. We started a political journey, just like we participated in Chawama. Yes. We are ready to participate because we are not going to go. It's like Panganda. Let me tell you, many people look down on me because they know this, that, know that. But let me state one thing. There's something that ECL saw in me. I'm a person that maybe I cannot blow my trumpet, but I'm very sincere in my discourse. When I begin to work with somebody, I'm very sincere, and I want that utmost sincerity to be inculcated in the minds of the Zambian people. It's not always about me. That's my focus, but it's about what the Zambian people want. But at the same time, I have that mandate to carry on with the wishes of somebody that sought to say, no, this is the party that should go. So I have started a political journey, and we are redefining the art of politics in the country. So we'll begin.
Okay.
I am about to Kasenda, but journey. The journey already started in Chawama. Yes. We'll carry on with that journey.
Okay, let's do this. Before we take a break, we have one more question we need to address. Discord grows in the country. It's growing. There's failed UCA merger in November 2025 over strictly ego issues. The PF and NCP starts on electoral reforms and many other alliances that have not worked. The Tonsa alliance itself has split badly. Okay, what is the biggest unity obstacle preventing genuine unity among opposition parties? You are a theologian, so I expect a theological response. Honestly.
Thank you for that question. It's a very important question. Now, let me give the Zambian people a history of how Tonsa Alliance came about. And what was ECL's mind. We were in UCA. And if you remember very well, and for the Zambian people, you can remember very well that I was the first person to resign from UCA. And I was the first person to join what is called Tonsa Alliance. Now, ECL was being disrespected in UCA. There was a notion from other leaders within UCA. They wanted ECL's presence. They wanted to gain and build on ECL's popularity, but they didn't want to acknowledge and give ECL the status befitting his presence in UCA. If you remember very well, ECL was just like a mayor member in UCA. He could sit, they could make decisions and all those. To an extent where they would make decisions contrary. ECL was the one funding and supporting all the activities of UCA.
Funding?
I'm speaking the truth.
Money.
You understand?
Yes.
But in the end, the leaders were not acknowledging. What they wanted was to go and subject ECL to an election. They were considering ECL to be like a colleague.
But isn't that part of the democratic process?
No, which didn't settle well with some of us.
No, but look at this. Isn't that part of the democratic process?
No, let me state.
Did you really want him because he's funding the party that
let me state one thing. State one thing. Surely, honestly speaking, you cannot sit with a king and you want the king to endorse you, give you the blessings, when you are not considering him. Now, what was the worst thing? Other leaders within UCA, I'll not mention names because I'm not here. They're not here to defend themselves. So don't ask me to mention names.
I will not.
They were even saying isi was etinamuza waku PF usaurete kuno. That is disrespecting and insulting. I went to ECO and said, sir, I think enough is enough. For some of us who are your disciples, we cannot sit here and watch you being disrespected.
As the king.
I consulted with the leadership of NCP and went to ECO to say, look, 2021, when I was vying, by the way, you know that I was among the 21 presidential candidates that paid nomination fee in 2021. I was ready to contest the 2021 general election. So I said at our general conference on the 9th of May, we amended the constitution. And the constitution mandates me to appoint a presidential candidate.
Yes.
Sir, I'm inviting you. And I took a letter of invitation and the constitution to be the presidential candidate for NCP 2026. And I want us to form what should be called NCP-PF alliance. Since PF is being disrespected, PF is being insulted that they don't have papers, because other leaders were even saying, no. But PF has been a political party. The papers are with Chavinga and others. And these are some of the same members of the Council of Leaders who did not respect ECO. ECO accepted and said, enough is enough. He went to Central Committee. Central Committee accepted. You say, I think that's the direction. What Chanda said, I suggested that. But then, before I announced the NCP-PF alliance, now I come to the point why the question that you have asked, why alliances do not work. ECO accepted. We were to launch what was called the NCP-PF alliance. And I was to hand over to officially hand over the letter to the general public of endorsement and appointment of ECO as the presidential candidate for New Congress Party 2026.
Yes.
Whilst I continue to run the party. And we agreed with ECO and he said, no. We agreed. Go ahead, you are president, and make arrangements to do your presser.
Yes.
Before I could do the press conference, I began to make arrangements.
Yes.
Before I could address the media on that, Comrade Zuman had gone to ECO and told him to say, no, if you go with the NCP-PF alliance, you are going to defranchise other political leaders that may want to join the alliance. So let's go with the Tonse alliance, which has now proved to be a problem today. Let's look at the best practices of the alliances. Then he looked at the Malawi where they use the Tonse. You understand, where political parties came together and used the concept of Tonse. And then ECO called me and said, Pastor, because he used to call me my pastor. He needed to be a pastor. Pastor, before you announce, wait, give me 2 days. I'll give you instructions on what to do. So after 2 days, Zumani was tasked to find a partner who they can work with to come up with the terms of references for Tonse. Then 2 days later, ECO himself called me and said, okay, Zumani advised. Yes. Please meet him. He's going to guide you on what you should do. If you are you ready for your press conference? No, I'm already ready. I've already secured the venue and I'm ready. So I went to meet on Comrade Zumani and he told me to say, no, we advised the boss that we should come up with the Tonse. So you are going to announce that you have joined the Tonse Alliance. And the ECO will be announced as a presidential candidate by Tonse. We want to accommodate other political leaders. That is how Tonse was born, and I was the first member of Tonse. And I made that announcement that I have moved away from UCA and have joined Tonse. After that, when Tonse was formed now, Dr. Dan Pure and Sean Tembo were expelled from UCA for just voting to have Peter Sinkamba as a member of the Council of Leaders. Remember, the Council of Leaders, there were 8. Now, do you know the mischief which I can be able to say which was there? The reason why that UCA failed It was because the 8 never wanted to accommodate any other person on top. They never wanted, if we want to be killed at co-assembly of presidents. Now, this is it was a calculated move. For me, I saw it as a calculated move, and that's what I told this year. Now, do you know why they want to have the number 8? It's because if we form government, there are only 8 slots for nominated members of parliament. So they don't want to have a bigger number. They know the influence that some of us have. And for some of us that are closer to you, they know. And this is the more reason why they want a situation where you are going to lose. And for sure, you can imagine the matter of Peter Sinkamba being a member of the Council of Leaders or bringing the number of the Council of Leaders to 9 was floated, and they voted. ECO voted for Peter Sinkamba to be part of that. Only ECO, Dr. Daniel Opure, and Sean Tembo. There were 8 members of the Council of Leaders. The rest of the 5, which included the Bosa Scott, who was absent from that meeting, but otherwise he gave a consent as to who he voted for. They voted, and ECO lost the vote. You understand? And Dr. Dan Pule now said, look, we can't be able to say. And from there, because Dr. Dan Pule and Sean Tembo had voted against them, then they expelled Dr. Dan Pule and they expelled Sean Tembo. Sean Tembo came to join Tonse. Now, look at this. When they came to join Tonse, the Central Committee now looked at the mischief. What was the other? That is the Central Committee of PF. And me, the proposal that I'd put to say, look, we cannot subject you to a situation where you are a leader. And for me, you are the presidential candidate for NCP. The PF Central Committee came up with a rules of engagement. Yes. That, look, should we come and join Tonse as a party, ECO is not going to come alone now to this Tonse. ECO will come as an institution. And 14 rules of engagement were produced. And those 14 rules of engagement were said, PF shall be the anchor party. The presidential candidate shall come from the PF. You understand? The secretariat shall be hosted by the PF. 60% of funding, should we have any by-election or any election, 60% of funding shall be generated from the Patriotic Front. Now, we looked at the comparative advantage of the Patriotic Front. And that is how Tonse was created. No mischief of now beginning to debate. It is up to the PF now to choose a leader and bring. And that leader was already ECL. That is how we came and they floated ECL. And we agreed to the rules of engagement. We agreed to those rules of engagement. Why is this Tonse that is now headed by Honorable Brian Mundubire an illegal thing or something that I can be able to say a shame in the face of sustaining and enhancing ECL's legacy? Is that the original concept of Tonse Alliance was that we should respect the comparative advantage that the Patriotic Front has in Zambia's political scene. The battle in the country at the moment has always been the Patriotic Front vis-a-vis versus the UPND. When you look at all the elections that have happened, we won the Petauke. I will not be able to say I can claim the glory that we have won because I'm a great leader or because I'm wise or because we won because collectively the Patriotic Front had put their effort in that. FDD today, they cannot stand out to say they are formidable, that they won the Chawama by-election without the Patriotic Front. It is because the Patriotic Front put in their effort despite being expelled. So why are political alliances not working? No political alliance can work. When you have a political alliance called WOZA, they launched WOZA recently. There is Tonse, and I can tell you, as long as you have this Tonse thing, you are not going to go anywhere. Why is UPND in government today? Because UPND is riding under what is called the UPND alliance. So the alliance must be anchored on a political party. And our first discourse with the Honorable Mao Sampa, when he met me after the Chawama by-election, with the Honorable Comrade Celestine Kandira, and Honorable Given Rubinda, our discourse with him, I told him frankly, sir, if we are going to work together, for me, the concept of Tonse should be buried. We should now work to say, okay, NCP, PF alliance, or NCP, because now the PF issue is in court. You understand? And there's been an order that nobody should use the name PF. Let's go with the NCP ECL legacy alliance, so that at the end of the day, people know to say they are going to vote for NCP, and they know that the symbol is the chair. You understand? In 2016, PF won, not alone. All of us came together in 2016, 16 political parties. So 16 political parties, we came together and we all supported PF as a party. Now, the thing that I'm telling you is that the issue of Tonse will never work. And you've heard even Ishized has stated, you cannot begin to sell a byproduct and shelf the product itself. So a Tonse concept, the name of the alliance like was a concept, the alliance like UKA, that is a byproduct which cannot be sold on the political market, as in taking it to the ballot. So you are simply coming together with the essence of trying to use the alliance concept, which is very loose from the political party process of electing a leader, just like they did. In the night, overnight, without the proper procedure and all those, you just hear to say somebody is elected as president. Now, even if he's elected as president of that alliance, I can assure you, the law will not mandate the person who has been elected by an alliance to become a presidential candidate. He has to go through, they have to go through a general conference. But now, let me tell you the difference with NCP. NCP, we have gone to a general conference. We have done the general conference. We have a constitution in place, and that constitution mandates me as president, Article 4.18 of the constitution, to appoint a presidential candidate. So we are legitimate. And our candidate, whoever will go with my signature, a written letter, because I'm simply giving up my right to say, okay, my rights, and I invoke Article 4.18 of the Constitution. This is the presidential candidate who we are sponsoring. So, for as long as one will be able to think like today, I've seen people now posting, no, I'm standing for Tonse. There will be no Tonse on the ballot. There will be no Tonse unless that Tonse is registered.
There have been pronouncements that since the death of ECL, we are all running like headless chickens. So, having heard that from some sectors of society, why have you insisted on going to ECL when you knew at that time that the law had barred him from standing as presidential candidate?
When we were together with ECL, when that judgment was done, we were campaigning in Kawambwa for our candidate Dunstan Mansa. And ECL was with us there. When we followed that broadcast together, and as soon as the broadcast ended, ECL went to his room and personally typed that message that he sent, where he said, what is done has been done. Now we switch to plan B, and plan B is in the motion. Which was that plan B in the motion? NCP was already in the motion. So, ECL didn't die without giving a political direction to this country. It has been people that have been a jealous mind of sustaining what ECL left, who made sure that they frustrated myself, they frustrated NCP, and made sure that NCP made a decision to be out. Even while I was in Kawambwa, the people that were fighting NCP were already there. So we are not headless. In terms of a direction and a political party, and I remember very well, maybe one time I'll be able to ask my political advisor to come over here, because he was there. He was there in a meeting, and this is Prince Chanda, the one called the Headliner. Maybe you can host him. he was there in the same vein where ECL was telling Central Committee members and told them to say, look, if you're thinking that you're going to get back PF, for me, I have switched, it is NCP. You get back your PF. Mukashala, ECL said that soon after that judgment. And he went on and typed a message and said, we switched to Plan B. And Plan B is in the motion. And 4 days before he died, he told me to say, look, let no one push you. I was being pushed by Comrade Zuman and the Comrade Zuman acting with others to say, no, we should do a general conference on April 12th for NCP so that I should vacate the presidency and have another person elected as the president, or ECL will come back and be elected as president of NCP. ECL told me to say, don't. 2 weeks after he left, he told me, don't allow anybody to push you to doing a general conference. You go to your general conference, be elected yourself. You have a clause that appoints a presidential candidate. I will tell you who you should appoint as presidential candidate.
So Makebi Zulu is an appointment of Edgar Lungu.
I'm not saying I'm not saying he was yet to announce who, but sometimes let me tell you this. Sometimes you can be able to think, if a king is about to die, and in his presence he has summoned one person, that person that he has summoned, sometimes automatically you can be able to see that maybe this is the one. So what I'm just simply saying is simple. In terms of a political party, ECL left NCP as a Plan B, which was in the motion. In terms of a presidential candidate, now, there are two things that ECL did before he died.
Yes.
There are two things, and I want to be very honest. When there were issues as to who should chair the meeting, he appointed Honorable Rubinda as acting chairman of Tonsa Alliance and acting president. That's why I always respect Honorable Rubinda. I moved out of Tonsa Alliance because Rubinda, they began to respect him. And I told Honorable Rubinda, I'm not going to sit and watch these people disrespect you. So it was on the same principle. I moved out of UKA because they were not respecting Honorable Rubinda. That's why even when I was announcing my appointment of Honorable Makebi, I told Honorable Makebi, because I come from a theological background, please go sit down with Honorable Rubinda, discuss about this matter. You understand? And let's respect Honorable Rubinda. Now, there are two confusing things between here. When ECL was dying, he had left Honorable Rubinda as the acting chairman of Tonsa Alliance, whose chairmanship now has been swept away from the people that were claiming that they were closer to ECL. The people that are claiming that they have the ECL movement. At the same time, at a time when he became critically ill, he did not invite, he only invited one person. And that one person is Honorable Makebi Zulu. So these are two things. There are three puzzles that you have now as Zambians. You understand? This one is evident in terms of a political will, and this is what I want to be on the record. In terms of a political party will. Because you may be able to say, no, he died without giving the Zambian people direction. He had given the Zambian people direction, and the party, he said it is NCP. So in terms of the people that you can be able to say, okay, he had considered. Or on the chairmanship of Tonsa Alliance, he had chosen Honorable Given Lubinda. On the acting president of the Patriotic Front, he had chosen Honorable Given Lubinda. When he was about to die, like he's about to die, he gets critically ill. The person that he called to go to South Africa was the Honorable Makebi Zulu. Now, whether a king before he dies has made a statement or what, but he will be able to give you the guidance as to what you that claim to follow. So I would advise my brothers from the Tonsa Alliance that is led by Honorable Brian Mundwile. Please don't insult ECL's legacy Unless there is anyone that can challenge me, because 4 days before Isiel died, we spoke. And he was telling me how happy he was that we have the chairs. And he said, when I come back, I'll come and tell you who. He was very much aware that that judgment will not be reversed. Even though Sean Tembo had gone to court, he said, I'll come and tell you who you are going to choose as a presidential. Now, I've seen Comrade Zuman has been there talking. I was very close. I was talking to him. Let me state this. From the day that Isiel himself announced Honorable Rubinda as acting chairman of Tonse Alliance, we were very much involved in that process, because he communicated with me to tell both Sean Tembo and Comrade Zuman to stop what they are doing against Rubinda, to stop what they are disrespecting Rubinda. And I called them personally. Not that I went on the social media. I called them personally. And from that end, Isiel had removed Comrade Zuman from managing Isiel's page. They challenged Honorable Rubinda when Bachangala, Brem Bachangala, bring Comrade Brem Bachangala here, so that he tells you, if there are people that, if there is a person that Isiel was communicating with on a daily basis, is Comrade Brem Bachangala. Please bring him here and host him, so that you can be able to hear for yourself that these people that are masquerading that they are running the ECL movement, Zambian people, don't be deceived. They've simply taken advantage of the situation. These are people who always wanted the FDD in the sense of NCP, which was chosen by ECL.
Lovely. Well, the president of the NCP has spoken quite a bit, so we've decided to give him a water break. We'll be back right after this short break. Welcome back to Capital FM with me, Chanda. We are discussing opposition unity vibe and where big ideas meet bold voices. We are listening to the bold voice of Mr. Peter Chanda, and we value your contribution. So please call us on 077 379 2475 or 0761 997 997, or follow us and make contributions on Facebook. Our handle is at Capital FM 997. Let's talk about the UPND. Imagine we've spoken for about an hour and we haven't talked about the UPND. I want to hear what your feelings are about them right now. I'll give you some context. We got a call, so we want to hear the contributions. Good morning, you're through to Capital FM. This is Chanda Michael with Peter Chanda. How can we be able to satisfy your curiosity?
Yes, good morning. Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, this is William Chanda.
Yes, Mr. Miller.
Yes, Mr. Chanda from Peter Chanda Mauka.
Augabwino mwoga bwanji ba.
Otikameva president.
Protocols observed.
Awe nakukonkani maningi. Ndinamvesesa. Peter Chanda namba kufuna kukonkani since kawana kushitana point warungu tuse bazamwezi na chipandi chao. Until then napomwashita design because apa mnashita join again. And apa nakumbelani mkamba tichinaikisa kuti mshukie mutose alliance. Ichikuwa chakuti some people within Donze even zopasa ule kwa given. But I remember since Cheshu kapani radio kwani but nakumbelani ku radio kinango mnakamba tuse chanaikisa kuti nichite design Mutose alliance ichikuwa chakuti PF wafuna using expenditure. So series yangachi munga mutano chilipacha endi mukamba muri Mutose alliance abakiveni sema price kuri PF mwina unongekera so series wapata wakiveni rupinda na waplani mungu ni ndani ana chipepa cha Mutose alliance kozi ni alliance zili registered but kunkonkala na chipepa between aba bantu babiri rubinda na plan indana na mapepa ya Mutose.
Can you please hurry up with your contribution?
Yes. Mukusirizisa. Kumbuyo kwenzeko maishu zifuti Mutose alliance. Yemezo chitatu washontembo wankala meeting yao, aba wankala na meeting yao pati abeli kipeni kubinda. Tenzo ona badani kule beze site mozi wanapo wachikomekeza to say before wamwalira wanashita point kusema kipeni kujeba act ya pese watu maja hapa stizi watu bandani hapa badani kule futi bali kusite pamoja na brand. So ifuna mapita Chanda munuze ko kwenye standard chana ngizo timu ndi mutoke Mutose kwa pia kwenda kuna yuzi koza kama kweli ya kutima mimi ndio using search pan timu wachiwa pakani kusai kuti hapa mawashita join and mawashita indoors.
All right, thank you very much. He's going to respond to that. All right, thank you. Yeah. All right, thanks. We'll take another call. All right. Good morning. Good morning, madam. You're through to Capital FM. This is a big issue. We're good, thank you. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Great Intercoalition with Osaka here.
Yes, go ahead. Our guest is Mr. Peter Chanda, President of the NCP. What's your question or contribution?
Peter Chanda, good morning.
Good morning, thank you.
Yeah, I followed your statement, but I'm really concerned with some other statements which you have said. Number one, Pakistan when the NCP part-time, then the same NCP party is conducting Muzina PF, and you are supporting a PF presidential candidate to stand in your party. So I'm really confused on that one. You mean NCP party, you just introduced this party to use it as plan B, PF, just because you knew that ECL was being banned to Imirira on the third term. Then that was plan B to introduce this same NCP party. Then you say, Munatoka Mukwa, just because they are disrespecting Mr. ECL. Then Munatoka Mutonsa Alliance, just because they disrespected Balurinda. Now, for your own commitment for this, it's like Chanda, you are not standing on your own, you are standing in others' shoes, like Balurinda and like ECL. So, what is your take on the leadership of this country as you introduce the part of NCP, but you are in the shoes of these two people? The way I've followed your statement, Mwamene Mukambira, in a country, you are not ready to help this country by your own means or by your own efforts without these two people like right.
Okay, I'm thinking that he's going to answer that.
Introducing Wamaketi Zulu as the standing candidate,
all right.
But you know the issue.
You need to wrap up now so I have to give other people a chance to ask questions. All right. We'll take another call and then President Peter Chanda will answer the three. Good morning. Welcome to the big issue. This is Mr. Mwiko talking with President Peter Chanda. Good morning. Yes, please. Tell us your name and where you're calling from and make your contribution under 2 minutes, please. All right. Go ahead with your question.
So inaendaneka bakitika boti mama kebe zuru kimbera kutingira banene bafuna oti bankale ba president twengabeze tamene twafuna unkale ba president mu kipani cyabo ni cyane kipani ni cyabo wayi bayikalena ngo bantu koti bebe bayite capacity yori dinga inoziko oro bayite ngarama financial kuti bazichaire campaign oro bwanyi. Why even if a president, but if I come to language,
okay. All right. President Peter Chanda is going to address those three questions, so please go ahead.
Well, just to address the first caller, and I didn't get his name, but he was saying you've returned Kulibaluvinda. I think Narich to explain after the Chawama by-election, the first person that called me was Honorable Mao Samp, and we had a meeting, and I clarified this, I think, even to the media. The second one I met was a Comrade Celestine Mkandila. The third one we discussed, I met and we discussed was Honorable Vinda. And my take was very simple. If we are going to work together, it has to be NCP, PF Alliance. And that is what I've said to the people. As a result of those meetings, those interactions, it was addressed, to which I clarified. And I said the talks from the same PF, with the movement of Honorable Brian Mundubile and the other Tonse, which I don't consider, to answer the question for the other one, there is no way you can remove a chairman who was appointed by a duly elected chairman. Because all of us as Tonse, we elected ECL as the presidential candidate. We elected the ECL and endorsed him as the chairman of Tonse Alliance. And we had the constitution in place which stated that the PF shall be the anchor party of the Tonse Alliance. Now, how did Lubinda lose his chairmanship to an extent that today they've elected Chan? They went in the background, had a meeting, and amended the... You don't remove a leader by simply amending. So what has been done to Honorable Lubinda is totally unfair. They could, the way they've done, the way they did in having a general congress of Tonse Alliance, they could have allowed, they could have not expelled PF. The first thing they did was they doctored the document. The original document that was there, they sat and made an amendment. When such an amendment was only supposed to be done at a general congress. This amendment that they've done today could have been that they did earlier to technically remove and expel PF from Tonse Alliance. And it was announced by Dr. Dan Pule himself. It's very sad. And I want us to have sincere political discourse in the country. That was a shrewd way or a crooked way. It was basically a coup d'etat because they simply sat and amended the constitution and declared that Lubinda's faction is no longer part of, that is part of Tonse Alliance. And I didn't expect my elder brother. I have a lot of respect for Honorable Brian Mundwiri. Being a lawyer and being a person that has been a leader that has benefited immensely from ECL's leadership, and as well as Honorable Lubinda, being a leader within PF, that he could gladly see his own father, his own acting president, who was appointed by ECL, being flushed out. It's like So for me, let me state this. For all those that may be able to know, I stand for justice. And in standing up for justice, I will not sit down because I know you. Comrade Zuman is my brother. Dr. Dan Pule is and I can tell you, because I have respect even for Dr. Dan Pule, regardless of the sides that we wear, I was one among the witnesses that went to stand in the dock as a witness for Dr. Dan Pule in the court. Because I cherish relationship, but if a brother does something wrong, I'll say that it is wrong. You cannot change. It's like waking up today and then the speaker calls parliament, and that parliament, they change the laws and remove the president technically. That is what they did, which is very wrong. So I want to state that the document that they have today is not the correct document that ECL left in place. The document that ECL left in place, he left Honorable Lubinda in charge. And I took a back step from Tonse Alliance the first time, because I said this disrespect should come to an end. After that, when Lubinda reconciled together with Comrade Zuman, then from there, Comrade Zuman began to plot to take over my party.
Okay.
So that is the correct position, to take over my party and have another person to act. And when I had a discussion with Honorable Lubinda, and today I want the Zambian people to know, Honorable Lubinda told me in the face to say he didn't know that Zuman wanted to just use him so that they could frustrate me and push me out. But the fact is that on the 27th, I have those messages. Bring Comrade Zuman here. I'll send them to you after this, so that when you bring him, you read those messages to him. Those messages were clear, and I've shared with many people. It was like, good evening, Baba. 6 top leaders of NCP will take over NCP in the next 1 hour if you don't come back to us and agree with us procedurally and whatever. After that, another message. That was on the 27th of October. I was out of the country. Another message came after 1 hour. No, by resolution, a certain named lawyer will be acting president in the next 24 hours. And he sent me the letters of appointment of people that he said ECO had recommended that I appoint them in the leadership of NCP. So, to the correct position, my brothers and my sisters, are that number one, I've demonstrated, just like somebody has stated, I've demonstrated that we can stand on our own. Just like I said here, we are still in talks with the Rubinda camp. The Rubinda camp. We are still in talks. But for me, to be comfortable to work with the given Rubinda camp, this is the more reason why I have endorsed Honorable Makebi Zulu, because I can trust him. Honorable Makebi Zulu as the presidential candidate. And secondly, it's not a sign of weakness, like I stated, to get a brother who you have seen, because leadership is not about being blind, who you can be able to see. So for Mungwangwa, start campaigning for me so that people will come back in Peter Chanda Chab and others across the country. Then from there, I'm going to stand, because I don't want you understand, I'm going to stand. But one thing that I've said in this program, I've been very clear. Yeah. I am in charge of the party, New Congress Party. I have delegated the function of subjecting of the campaigns, you understand, to say, okay, in the 2026, I'm giving the Zambian people this son of the soul who is being sung about by many Zambians who are saying, oh, we want Makebi, we want Makebi, we want Makebi. So I have said it here. From me, I'm not like Kanofenga Ninevo. Okay. So I've simply demonstrated leadership. Not that I'm weak, not that I cannot raise funds to campaign. We did that. We did that in Chawama. We campaigned from day one up to the last day.
Let's do this. There are some text messages from Facebook that I'd like to go through, but there are some crucial questions I'd like you to respond to, and then we can address the Facebook issues.
Yes.
In 2021, opposition splits, the way it's split right now, opposition splits, let UPND we fall and united we stand. How does this infighting hand them an easy win for August 2026?
Well, let me state that
briefly, if it's possible.
The politics is dynamic. UPND faces a challenge of the challenge that they have is against the Zambian people.
Yes.
And I believe the Zambian people win. Let's not forget the fact that ECO campaigned for just 3 weeks and he was able. Of course, the dynamics are different.
Yeah.
But you are right. The disunity amongst opposition political parties will definitely cost us. I think Prophet Joshua Ingila is on record of having stated to say there is so much disunity. Now, look at this. Political parties and political leaders, I'll be able to tell you the simplest thing. Already know the comparative advantage that New Congress Party, for instance, has on the political scene in the country at the moment. Many Zambians, they know to say New Congress Party is a political party that is your left. But many of them still want to dilly-dally as to why we cannot come together and galvanize around NCP. So the fact that many others think they can have it their way, then it is their own problem. But I want to state that disunity amongst us as the opposition leaders, definitely we should blame ourselves, because it will definitely give an advantage to the ruling party.
All right. In the recent past, Zambians have faced currency depreciation, ZESCO power blackouts or energy deficiencies, and high youth unemployment, all this among other problems, fueling demands for change. At what point does opposition disunity become a disservice to these citizens craving accountability? When does ego checking become a moral imperative?
Well, let me state one thing. We should be alive to the fact that the Zambian people have cried over this today. Because the election is coming, we have power, but that power is going like no man's business. The units are finishing like no man's business. yarenda fet kwa. Now, New Congress Party has an agenda, and that agenda is to put the economy of this country back on track. New Congress Party has got an agenda of ensuring that we invest heavily in real renewable energy solutions. New Congress Party has got an agenda of ensuring that we lower the cost of living by ensuring that the mining sector in the country provide the right taxes. And when we get the right taxes, we shall subsidize on fuel, subsidize on fertilizer to ensure that we give more productivity to the Zambian people. Today, I want to tell you that the challenges that we have today as a result of certain policies that do not favor the Zambian people, that they fall, but they favor the foreign entities. Now, we as political leaders, we have a duty.
I want to stop you right there. I need you to focus on opposition disunity being a disservice to the citizens. Over the last 5 years, too much infighting to the detriment of the well-being of the Zambians.
Very true. Very true.
So at what point do you think this is disservice and we need to do better, regardless of who's in charge?
Well, let me state one thing.
Is it ego checking?
Yes. If we as opposition leaders were very objective enough, we could have focused on providing the best checks and balances. Talk about who talks about the Mpika Kasama Road? It's a death trap. Who talks about the Selenje Mpika Road? It's a death trap. We are talking about lack of medicines in the hospitals. These are things that we are supposed to be doing as opposition leaders. But I can tell you that we've wasted a lot of energy. And in me, if I can tell you that the whole of last year, it was fighting for the survival of NCP to an extent that at the end of the day, I had to say, let's say for instance, the by-election in Kasama. When you combine all the votes for the opposition, you can be able to see that the opposition carried the day. So the question of ego is what I'm addressing, and that is the more reason why today, to demonstrate, you need to show and lead by example. That's the reason why I said, hey, I've backed off. And I did not pick my own brother from the Bembaland. I picked Honorable Makebi Zulu, from where this media coordinator of mine comes from, Eastern Province. Even though I'm better power, but I'm there as president, no, so make sure that we
are there to guide them.
Yes. So the issue that I can be able to state is simple. Let's be able to acknowledge the comparative advantage that your brother has. If you look at to say, okay, yeah, my brother here has got a comparative advantage at the moment in terms of one leader, and that was Joshua, the son of Nun, to take them into the promised land. You understand? At a certain point, God raised Gideon as a leader. He raised Jephthah as a leader. And for Jephthah in the Bible, you can be able to see that he was an outcast. He was rejected. He was not considered. He was considered a bastard. But the children of Israel, at that point, all of them came together and said, look, that one is the least amongst us, but is the one that has what it takes to fight the Sanballats and all these other enemies that were coming against Israel. So in the same vein, like today, people need to know that Israel had already left NCP on the road. But there are those that will be able to look down and say, you understand? They look down on me, or just like others are saying. But I want to state one thing. It is high time that we all stand up and know. Let me tell you, they can run as fast as they can, and I feel for them, these that are running and lying to Brian Munduire. Because they are running at a supersonic speed, but they are failing to do the details. And Bamtinta wanted to disclose something. That you know what the ECZ is talking about. Now they are running And they're forgetting the fact that what they're supposed to do is there will be no tonse on the ballot. It will be a political party.
Yeah. Oh.
And when we don't deal with what we are supposed to do at whatever, I can be able to assure you that we'll reach there. Some of them will even fail to file nominations.
Let's get to our last question and then refer to social media. The Electoral Commission of Zambia's May 2026 deadline. Now, if leaders fail to agree on one presidential candidate, what message does that send about the readiness to govern collectively?
Let me state one thing. First, political leaders in the country should all agree. They should first agree on one political party. When they agree on one political party, then the next step, they agree on one leader. You understand? They agree on one leader.
Yeah.
But I don't see that coming.
You don't see it happening?
I don't see that. They have that heart that is sincere in how they respected Isiel, who is yet to be buried. Let me state one thing. 2026 general election was supposed to be a comeback for Isiel.
Yes.
And for all of us that loved Isiel, we are supposed to galvanize ourselves together and consolidate what he left for us. And build on what he left. And swallow our pride. And know that we have a duty to give the Zambian people the hope that they deserve.
Wonderful. Let's take one more call and then wrap it up. Under a minute.
Very briefly, just a question.
Mm.
Then we have not forming alliance with the MP one allowing after this much takura with the MP no better from alliance or at NCP. Then the other question is you have to know Makiti Zulu. What is Makiti Zulu women and then a company of the Naraki Chiwanga? So that woman could actually go ahead Makiti Zulu the Araki the chief.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. The Petauke MP remains a member of parliament for New Congress Party. On record, he is a member of parliament for New Congress Party. Secondly, the constitution of NCP, when I appoint a presidential candidate, the presidential candidate has a preserve to choose a running mate. At the same time, this is centered on a mutually agreed procedure. So we have to be comfortable with the running mate that the presidential candidate wants to bring on board. The constitution is very clear about that. I'm not that selfish leader. I'm a person that understands and reads time. So the constitution prescribes us to what the presidential candidate mandate is. The only mandate that the presidential candidate has is to choose his running mate.
All right.
Whilst I continue to run the party, and the other things that are in the constitution, I cannot be able to say they are for public consumption.
Yeah. I would like to acknowledge contributors on Facebook, and they are so divergent in views. It's unbelievable. There's for and against. Just to put you in perspective, Mr. Chanda is a political joker. I don't think any meaningful Zambian can take you seriously. Why did you leave? These are things you've addressed already. Why did you think Given Lovinda? Why did you leave Given Lovinda Stones Alliance and rejoin just to endorse Makebi Zulu over Given Lovinda? Is that not confusion? These people, the truth is that they will never come together, and that's our prayer as Zambians, because they will finish our resources. And as you know, generally we say as Zambians we think like this. We have more contributions from and acknowledgements from Louis Kaunda, Mundia Luliti, Eva Malota. They are basically echoing what you've said, but in divergent ways. And unfortunately, since we don't have enough time, we'll only take one call and wrap it up for sure. You're through to Capital FM. This is a big issue. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
Hello?
Hello. You're through to the big issue.
Thank you very much.
much.
Yes.
How are you?
I'm fine. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
Yeah, my name is Elvis. I'm calling within Lusaka.
Yes, your brief contribution or question?
Thank you very much. Good morning, Mr. Peter Chanda.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, for me, you are one of the people who has been very inconsistent, and I think you know what I mean. And you are doing a great job to divide the opposition so that the UPND, which is working very hard to make sure that the lives of the people are improved, will win the 2026 election. For me, you are a vehicle which the PF used in Petauke. You are the vehicle which the PF was using you in the by-elections. But what did you do? You stabbed them in their backs, ran away, even talking ill of the same Tosi alliance you are talking about. The same people who you are backing today are the same people. Where are you going to put Brian Mundubile, who has been elected as a Tosi alliance president? Where are you going to put him? That means already you are divided as the opposition, because the given Rubindaret faction will not let Brian Mundubile do his work. Brian Mundubile has been chosen as the Tosi alliance president, and you are saying you are backing Tosi alliance with given Rubinda. Already those are problems which you are causing. So thank you very much for you, the opposition, to be very disorganized. Think God does this in a certain manner that you get confused with what you are doing.
Thank you very much, Elvis.
The 2026 election is just near,
all right,
very near, and you are still bickering and destroying one another.
All right, thank you for your contribution. You can address that and then we wrap it up.
Well, I don't know whether the big man was understanding what I explained, or maybe nimbitavachumfanande mchivemba. Valungu kanabesa vashire Tosi alliance imo. Comrade Zumani na Vashon Tembo divided that Tosi alliance and it became two Tosi alliances. New Congress Party was a special purpose vehicle. I took a back step then and I told them to say, put your house in order, because this party is one and we have one member of parliament collectively together. So if you are going to have two camps of Tosi alliance, where is this special purpose vehicle going to belong to? Number two, leadership is not about being blind. Just because me, we are close, we are brothers, we are neighbors. I come from Ruwingu, Honorable Brian Mundubile comes from Mpolokoso, which is just next to Ruwingu, where I come from. I cannot sit down and watch Honorable Mundubile agree to a wrong thing and I should be able to say yes. Oloni mwevo, bamisha in charge, kumuyashi. Then in Aisa Bomfio kuchinja constitution to remove you instead of taking you to an election. Why didn't they call for a general congress of Tosi alliance and Ruvinda goes there to compete? Then secondly, for your own information, NCP is at the moment in talks. We are in talks, that's what I've said. Not that we joined the talks. There is no Tosi alliance. The Tosi alliance that ECL left was one. I cannot be part of another faction of Tosi and sit comfortably in that other faction of Tosi. And what I've suggested to all the people, including to Honorable Ruvinda, to Honorable Mausam, is that if we are going to galvanize, let's galvanize under what we call NCP alliance. This is what I have said. Secondly, I don't believe in illegalities. You cannot technically remove out somebody by simply amending the constitution and rendering them dangerous, saying, no, we have expelled the PF that is headed by given window. When you were with them all the way, when you even adopted a candidate together with them in for Chawama. That hypocrisy is wrong. And you cannot, just because Mamdala, you want to continue to support, or you want to continue to support inequality just because maybe you have a soft spot over somebody. Let's not do that in terms of providing leadership. What was done, what FDD has done to be part of the process that has removed the PF from there is wrong. Now, I'm not saying NCP is yet part of that, because for us, if there is a Tonse, there should be one Tonse. But for now, what we are saying is that the Zambian people want a political party that they are going to vote for. Okay. And you cannot dispute the fact that ECL left NCP as a political party of his choice. Choosing Makebi, in my statement, was very clear. I said, sit down with the leadership because I don't believe in anarchy. So to answer all those that said the confusion, I don't believe in confusion. It is up to the PF to agree to work with NCP, or NCP has already started the political journey. I'm young, I'm 50 years old. I'll begin to navigate the way, and one day I'll be president of the Republic of Zambia.
Wonderful. Mr. Peter Chanda, president of the NCP, any final words on forging that united front that people are craving for, the united opposition for the 13th August 2026 elections? Your final words, then we say bye.
Well, my final words are that to the Zambian people, I have led the way. That leadership is about restraining yourself and humbling yourself. And humility is not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength. To all the leaders, let's introspect ourselves and come up with a decision within. You sit down, reflect. Because basically, if we have to win as opposition, we have to come together. But if we have to continue to maximize our potential and build our own political parties, and like what we can say NCP has started, let's go. Knowing that definitely, narasenda kama vote. But of course, we all go with the courage to say, I'll win and form government. So for us, the onus is on all of young people.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Mr. Peter Chanda, President of the National Congress Party, thank you for coming to the big issue. Your participation has enriched our national discourse, and we wish you and the NCP team continued strength, wisdom, and resounding success as you navigate the challenge.